stationing.
It is. Yes.
I dropped off my son at school and I was like, it's May 2nd. Pluto is stationing.
I noticed that. So how do you feel about Pluto? Is that like, do you work with it?
Yeah, of all the outers, Pluto's the one that it always gets my attention. And there was this moment where I've recently, one of my current rabbit holes that I'm still tending to is zodiacal releasing. And I always had this moment where I thought it was this Pluto transit, this transit to my natal Pluto, of when I had this realization that I was going to leave my first husband. It was like this drop voice came in and just told me, you're going to leave him. And I was like, what? Where did that come from? And I always associated with this Pluto transit but it was a fairly wide orb. And with outers, it's like, how much of an orb do you give it? I mean, Pluto's in my 12th house. It's really close to my lot of fortune. So there's that.
That's a whole
thing.
thing.
Then the ZR releasing from Spirit, I saw that date and I was like, fuck, that's what that was. So,
oh man.
So yeah, I don't know. I pay attention to Pluto just because he's the one. It's the only air placement I have outside of my lot of fortune. Is the only like planet that's in an air sign in my chart, and it's in the 12th. And I have such difficulty with Libra placements anyway, probably because Libra's my 12th house. But I just I have such difficulty. So I pay attention to him more. Neptune is just elusive to me. I don't really have a relationship with Neptune. I play with Uranus the most because I've got it in the first house and I'm like, that's just, I embody him. But Pluto's the one that I'm attracted to, which, feels like that's what his job is.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very deep.
But last year for my solar return, I had retrograde Pluto in Aquarius because it retrograded right around my birthday. And so I've got it again this year and it's in my 4th house, it's angular. So when you say, do I work with it? Yeah, but I mean, I'm not I don't feel like an expert at all. And I don't defer to Pluto, but I definitely like, he gets my attention.
Yeah, it holds weight for me too. Especially with, I have it in my 4th and with Saturn pretty close. Saturn's like wide orb, like 7 degrees away, but
yeah,
it still both in Scorpio, and then my son's there too. So and transits to it, really hit. They do. I mean, the heaviness of it, I definitely feel. The empowerment I think worked with before, the empowerment of it, but first comes the disempowerment, like you don't realize you're not in, that you need to empower yourself until you're disempowered. And then you're like, oh shit, I've got to do something about it. And that's where the whole association to the Tower card for me just kind of comes through. I mean, I've heard it associated with the Tower card, and I definitely feel like transits to my natal Pluto have been that way. And then I've had some really empowering transits of Pluto to my descendant. So it's really interesting to study, but I agree, I'm not an expert either.
Yeah. Hear that, Pluto? We don't know you yet.
Yeah, you're an acquaintance.
Yes. It's like he's just that weirdo that's in your life, but you're not really sure actually who he is,
That's right. And today it's the heavy planet, they, whatever Pluto wants to be called, king, probably.
Maybe that's the station. The station is like, hey, I'm stationing, I'm slowing down so that you will talk about me.
Yes, you're right. And in Aquarius too, which it for me is such an interesting sign. Pluto and Capricorn seemed very cold, obviously, and very like ruthless, and but also very fundamental building. And Pluto and Aquarius just kind of seems exactly what you would expect. Like you don't know what's going to come from it. Is it global? I mean, definitely global revolutionary things are happening, but I'm kind of like thrown for a loop, which I guess makes sense, like what is Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius? going
so
to do.
what the image that keeps coming up is like when you look in a mirror, it's you in tangible form, but you're looking at the reflection.
Mm.
And because Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, it's like, is there going to be, are we going to look at the whole story of Pluto and Aquarius and Capricorn as like a mirror reflection? Like the fixed signs carry on the messaging of the cardinal. So is it that the Aquarius is going to carry on the message from Capricorn? So it's going to be like a weird mirror image, but it's the mirror. It's the reflection, not the tangible. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the mirror world is kind of what, but it's from the Capricorn story. Like I feel like Capricorn and Pluto and Capricorn is not over. Like that story, the whole financial crisis, the whole power dynamic, the disease, all of that, I feel like it's just going to be reflected in a weird Aquarian way. I don't think it's going to be, maybe it'll seem out of left field when it happens, but I feel like when we're on the other end of it in 20 fucking years, we'll be able to look at it like a mirror. That's what keeps coming to me is like the Capricorn Pluto story is not over. We're going to see it revealed in this weird Aquarian way. It's like the reflection is Aquarius to what we saw in some form in Capricorn. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but that's kind of what keeps coming up to me.
Can I open up the calendar and show you what I chose for Pluto retrograde? There's a mirror.
What?
I was like, I giggled actually when you said it. I was like, oh, she doesn't think I'm laughing at her because when you said mirror, I was like, oh my God, that's the icon I chose for my
That is awesome.
May 2nd. Yeah, today, May 2nd, Thursday, May 2nd. What time is it stationed?
It's already stationed, right?
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, 12:46 p.m. So right now. Oh. And that's central. So it'll be 1:46 there. Yep. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to jump into the calendar, but
no, that's see what I mean?